Hello, Smite fans. Welcome back to the commentary desk for the second time today as we move into set number 2 of week number 1 of season number 2 of split number 2 of the Smite Pro League.
You're the only one who can do it.
I know.
I don't think anyone can ever match you.
Just rattle them off.
Dignitas versus Noxo this game. It's going to be a pretty interesting matchup. And like you said earlier today, it's really, are the best challengers teams better than the worst SPL spring split teams?
Yes, are they? Are they indeed? And Dignitas did not look like they had it together during the qualifiers. Night's Watch did. They won 5 games straight, I believe. And Dignitas nearly lose to Poppies. And Poppies basically beat nobody through the entire Challengers Cup.
Yeah, they didn't really challenge anyone. They had some good games, though. So the first day we saw London Conspiracy fall to Titan. Cloud9 took out Denial. Saturday we saw Fnatic really rein in.
They're number 1.
Yeah, like they're the top. They're the team to beat this season.
Yes, absolutely. AFK trades with Team Solo mid, just continuing what we saw from the LAN, where they traded back and forth. Eager had it easy over Enemy. And then similar respect, Epsilon takes it over Upcoming Stars. But now these next 2 games are the ones to watch to see the relative strengths of those Challengers Cup teams. As Dignitas trending down, Night's Watch trending up out of the Challengers Cup. Who is the better squad? And, well, we have the answer to that question, at least what our opinions were in the picks, if we could take a look at that as well. While we get your opinion, Kevin, on these 2 squads.
I took it 50-50, I believe. Yeah, I took it 50-50. And it's really, Night's Watch has a lot of talent, but they're not cohesive like Epsilon is. Yes. Epsilon has a ton of talent, but also the cohesion and synergy to be a top 2 to 3 team in Europe. Night's Watch, they have a lot to work on, a lot of players coming out of retirement, most notably NQ and Solo Lane. And Dignitas, they're really good when they're good. They're just not consistent.
Right, exactly. And the player base, well, they take Dignitas. I take it as a 50-50 as well for the same reasons, basically. Dignitas, I think, is the better team. Dignitas should win, but yes, Dignitas also will probably beat themselves 1 game, is my thought. Yeah. And the Night's Watch should be able to capitalize. And perhaps a lot of that comes out of the duo lane matchup between these 2 squads. I think that has a lot to do with it. We're going to see one of the most aggressive players in the entire world in that lane. I mean, this guy makes Zapman look like he likes to nap in the lane.
It's my baby Moex. Yeah, I've loved Moex since I've seen him enter the scene, but sometimes he's a little difficult, right? So he actually just learned that Agni bombs cost no mana the other day. It was tweeted out.
Yeah,
he's just like so naturally skilled.
He just learned like the 4 gods that he needs to play and didn't care about the rest of the game, it seems like. I agree with that. Young Bay, he's been playing the game for about as long as there's been the game. Very tenured hunter, captain of several squads now. It's probably his 4th or 5th team that he's led. Really the hallmark of the Dignitas team is like who plays Amir. It's like, does Young Bay win his lane and who's playing Amir? I mean, they have so many Amir players on this team. But yeah, Moex, probably on her and probably never stops fighting. People hate to lane against this guy.
But I mean, it's not just on her. It doesn't matter what hunter he picks. Even if he picks like a Ram who normally can't outbox the other hunter early on, he's going to be aggressive.
He's gonna try at least.
That's just who he is.
And I mean, when the last time we saw Moex really on a competing team was at the EU regionals last year, and the word on the street was basically people hate to play against him. Because he just plays so aggressive. He just fights you the whole time.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you look at really how often do you see kills happen in the duo lane? And I was actually looking at the stats from the spring split. There was only 4 first bloods by hunters out of every single game.
Out of all of season 1.
Split one. Sorry, split one. Okay, got you. People just aren't fighting that much. They're just looking to farm and get to late game.
Yeah, you got to think those first bloods from the hunters, right? I mean, those are not the hunters, right? That's a guardian setting something up, a pluck or Hercules driving strike,
or a gank, right? It's just not often.
Sure, it doesn't happen that much. But picks and bans are ready, guys. Let's take a look here as we get into the Night's Watch versus Team Dignitas here as our second game of the day out of 3. This Season 2 Smite Pro League is brought to you and powered by Curse Voice. As we get into this one, Dignitas will be the first ban position. The Night's Watch in the second.
So we're going to see Sylvanas banned out. No surprise there, like always. Just Sylvanas just too controlling. Even with his recent nerf, where he no longer knocks back minions, you can't allow anyone, especially an aggressive hunter like Moex, to be given that safety of a safe push lane.
Yeah, the warm embrace of the Sylvanas, keeping you safe at night. But the second ban from Dignitas, will it be the Bellona, or will they look to first pick it? Probably ban Bellona, pick Athena would be the conventional wisdom, but it will be ban Bastet and wave your hands willy-nilly in front of your face, I guess. I'm really not sure exactly why.
That might be a targeted ban against Zender.
Well, it's one of Zender's better gods, but really? Like, really? Bastet this early? It's not NA.
This could also be a solo lane. They might be trying to ban out NQ. This is more than likely a scrim ban. I'm assuming these teams practice against each other. Poseidon taken out by the Night's Watch.
Bassett just like the most awkward swing pick as well. Like, not really a solo laner, but can be played there. She kind of forces the issue in many ways there.
Really controls the middle game as well.
She's nasty through that whole mid-game period, especially if you're looking to play something that maybe an Agni or something in the mid lane that doesn't have true leaps.
Yes.
You could see that Bassett ban factoring in there. But let's see what the Night's Watch go with as Athena, the obvious first pick. Will they take the Medusa? Because if they don't take Dusa, you can be pretty sure that Bay is going to draft it.
He was very dominant with it in the summer qualifiers against Poppies. He had some really great games against it. Very comfortable.
Oh, okay.
Kuang. So Zinder played this in the qualifiers as well, but I don't think they drafted it this early. I'm pretty sure it was a third or second round.
No. They first picked it.
It was first picked last time?
Because it was in their matchup in the qualifiers, it was banned out against them every game. Except for one.
Except the first one, where he dominated
where he first picked it, and we were like, first pick, Kuang, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I would be very surprised to not see Dusa come out of a Dignitas here. As one of the picks. Mid lane and Medusa, if not the support Medusa.
Drafting this Kuang also keeps you kind of away from drafting bruisers because Kuang is so good against bruisers. He has a lot of base damage, doesn't need magic power to get rolling against them.
That's right, yeah. They're not going to be able to itemize cleanly into magic defense early on. So, Ra selected here for Dignitas. That going to be piloted by Shadow Nightmare, one of his signature gods, certainly. Final pick they got to be discussing. Do we take Dusa here, or do we take the
Bellona.
Bay remaining, and they take Bellona?
That's no surprise. Another flex pick. Athena and Bellona are working to where they could be in multiple roles, jungle or solo, and with Athena also could be support. Ra, though, that also could be solo as well. Variety in Season 1 was a very dominant healer-oriented player, much like a Maniac.
Mm-hmm. And, well, Variety, looking at this squad, again, I think Variety probably the weak point here. For them, and look for, can he hold his own against NQ, who's probably one of the stronger, if not the strong point on the Night's Watch.
He had a really good series against Game Hunter in the summer qualifiers as well. And Game Hunter, while he was just coming back as well, was previously the best solo, or known as the best solo laner in Europe. Mm-hmm. So very strong showing coming out of him, and you can only expect he's improved since that spot.
They're banning Scylla away from Carino here. Night's Watch have leaned on Scylla. That's definitely the target ban.
Target ban.
Yeah. Medusa also banned out by Night's Watch. No surprise there. If it wasn't taken to that first pick with the Athena, it will get banned out. And there's the Agni. So with Poseidon banned as well, the mid lane is almost assuredly Ra. Very unlikely that goes to the solo at this point. And we're going to see Dignitas round out their draft here. They need that ranged hunter damage, obviously, and then they're going to need something else. It'll likely be their solo laner at this point.
Neith.
But it could still be the jungler. So they'll take the Neith, and what are they going to take? I mean, they have some options here. Bellona likely the jungle, I would say, given this lineup.
They don't have a ton of
they need a frontliner.
AoE damage right now. I'd like to see someone who had some sustained damage in team fights. Sobek is open if you want to run that solo.
Sobek's, Guan Yu's both fit in this lineup very well.
I think, and it's going to be a tier, okay. Yeah. But once again, bruisers have a tough time against Kuang, a lot of high base. However, as long as Tyr has Fearless up, there's not much Kuang can do to really initiate on him.
Tyr also has the burst heal to help kind of snake his way out of some of those Kuang executes. So, and he'll set that front line. Ra no longer where he once was considered kind of a pseudo frontliner. I would say just the way that he's itemizing in the meta these days doesn't have any kind of that frontline potential until maybe he gets 4 or 5 items and has that Lotus Crown plus a lot of base stats from his levels. But Hercules to round out the Night's Watch here, so we'll have the slap fight in the solo lane, it looks like. Which is probably to the credit of the Night's Watch, as you mentioned. Kuang, definitely the more competent ganker than Bellona against the Warriors.
One thing to note here is they're relying a lot of magic damage onto this Ra, and if he really wants to build that Lotus Crown, that's going to hurt them. It's really going to allow Hercules to itemize very well against the team overall. And it will be a Ra middle lane. Well, no surprise there. But
yeah, the Ra mid, but maybe what is the surprise here, and Kevin, before we introduce the teams, let's get your breakdown on this. It's Soulstone, a piece on the mid laners.
This has really been brought up more as we see it. I can understand it on Ra. Ra has a heal in his kit. He's not worried about needing the sustain, and they are grouping up here. Soulstone is an interesting thing. It leads to a lot of first bloods if you can time it properly, but at the same time, if you get poked out, it's risky. You don't have the sustain.
Right. You don't have that. And maybe most importantly, it's the base HP that you're looking at.
Yes.
And with an Kuang and a Bellona, both of which are very competent ability-based damage dealers, that Kuang a little bit less bursty, or rather his burst comes out over time a little bit more than Bellona, but both of them able to put out a lot of damage in short order. But let's go ahead and introduce your teams, guys. as we're getting into this one about 15 seconds from the start of the game. It's Team Dignitas versus the Nice Watch, and Dignitas will be wearing the blue trunks. Bottom side of the minimap and the left side of your spectator UI. It's Variety in the solo lane as Tier, Frostyak jungling as Bellona, Shadow Nightmare, mid lane Ra. That leaves Frezzo and Youngbei as your duo lane, Athena and Neith. Their opponents will be the Night's Watch. They're wearing the red trunks. They're the top side of your minimap and the right side of your spectator UI. It's NQ and Zindern that'll be early on in the solo lane as the soloer and jungler as that Kuang. Carino mid lane, Agni, where he's paired up currently taking the red buff with the Wolf of Elo Street, and Moex that will be his duo lane as Geb and Ram.
Another 3-camp start. We're seeing this more often now, especially in North America, but some European teams are adapting it as well. And it's just going to hit their level 2 faster. It also allows the jungler to rotate to mid camps and look to invade the enemy's back RPs early on. So I suspect Zindern will do the same thing that AFK likes to run and go straight to middle lane. Yep, there he goes.
Well, and here we go. Yeah, he'll take that early, and that's much, much, much safer for the Kuang. That short lane is just a little bit too stacked up, and he has really no base HP to speak of. One of the least amount of, well, he had the lowest by far, and he got buffed his base HP a little bit here as he was dying quite a bit. But overall, this character, with his ability to blink invisible, has a pretty low base HP pool to compensate.
And we actually see he rotated, but instantly Frostyak is going to clear that first wave in solo, rotate right behind him, and not miss a step. They both got the same amount of XP, but Team Dignitas got lane control, and Variety actually getting pretty low here.
Yeah, he's still eating minions. NQ, well, he won't get the kill, and he'll force out the pot, but now, with options, is NQ. I mean,
a ton of kill potential.
That first boulder, if this one continues to trend this way, that first boulder is going to be very meaningful, potentially a kill as well.
And NQ's not going to let Variety walk up and get free healing, which means Variety's going to have to sit in this tower and grab these archers when they come. He's going to be losing a lot of gold early on.
Yeah, he'll lose, what, 5 minions worth of gold here, maybe 6 as well, depending on if he's able to. Nope, he doesn't kill that archer. There was 1 hit, so yeah, and you can see he's oh nope, that was just a little bit of lag, it looks like, but he will gobble those up underneath the tower, but he does lose out on some gold. Bellona, a little surprised to see Carino not stun that out. I think he could have, and potentially had some kill there. But that Path of Flames off the mark doesn't get the minions, and so they walk up. But they're going to tank them out, not lose that gold too much. But so far, Dignitas, in very small ways, getting the better of Night's Watch.
A small lead here and there, it seems, in every lane outside of solo lane, where we saw NQ get Variety pretty low. But with the heal, you can see Variety's already full health. Youngbei here sitting in this lane. Athena rotating pretty early, maybe just looking to pick someone off, but he's going to be coming back to this lane before mid-card spawn.
Yeah, no ultimates available yet on the board, and I'm looking at Agni, who now at 2 minutes and 37 seconds does not have level 5, which means that is the absolute maximum threshold at which he will be able to have 2 bombs, so we'll only have the 1 bomb available.
He just spotted it, so right after they spawn, it'll be there. But Frostyak has his ultimate, Zindern recognizing that. He's just going to hold his blink.
Yeah, so yeah, if they're able to stall these mid camps out for about 10 seconds, he will have the second bomb available. But you can see Dignitas.
No one's in position.
Already in position, 1 on each side. Hogs available. Both camps secured by Dignitas. And wow, I mean, that's just a lot of all those little things stacking up. The right side, they're going to go deep. That ultimate, yeah, I think it accidentally went on. Yeah.
Wrong person. Frezzo
that's
just
not enough
off
to
the
kill,
mark.
though.
That now the healing should be enough. He'll be low, but it's not going to be in kill range. Just
that's
unfortunate misplay.
Yeah.
You saw the Bellona rotating into that solo lane and Frezzo accidentally ulting the wrong person. That could have been a first blood. Most likely would have been a first blood.
Yeah, most likely would have been the first blood had Tyr continued to pursue. But now Kuang's made his rotation all the way over to stall this lane out. And Variety, well, not having... He does have his ultimate available. He's taking quite a bit of damage, though, from the Kuang. Zindern getting the better of that early trade and forcing Tyr back. And having some room to farm.
Yep. Likely to see a teleport picked up here. If you go teleport, you want to go it early. No, he actually went blink. So electing not to pick up a strong rotational item, this could lead Hercules. This kind of opens him up. He can also go the teleport, or he could go the teleport and look to out-rotate the Tyr, but it's also going to allow him to not have to buy it.
Well, it's Heartseeker Ram, which generally speaking doesn't mean that Night's Watch is looking for early objectives, where that teleport 3 could really factor in heavily, right? And teleport into a ward, as we saw in the last game, actually, to really break open that early Gold Fury. But we'll see. I mean, if maybe around the time if the Aussie's coming online for Moex and NQ hasn't been forced to purchase into a second active, we may see that blink or that teleport 3 come out right after Mystical Mail and go for the early Gold Fury.
You know, as you said that, I don't think you realized you were talking about Moex here.
That's true. It is Moex.
Moex wants to fight. I mean, and normally we're seeing these Rom pick up Devo gloves because he is a late game hunter. You want to basically make him safely get to that late game. We saw Emilito in this same matchup grab that Devo's glove, but Moex wants to fight early, and this Heartseeker is going to allow him to. He may not be able to trade in lane, but come into mid-game team fights, he's going to be doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, but they're giving up some of their potential at the objective to give him this more aggro start, so we'll see how the Night's Watch is able to adapt here, and if Dignitas is able to take advantage of the fact that Rom will, in theory, have the stronger mid-game, but perhaps the weaker 30-minute plus game.
This tier should have a good time in the Soul Lane. You see him starting to itemize into Mystical Male, which you've seen all... Actually, it may not be Mystical Male. It may be Midgardian.
Versus Herc?
Well, he has Blink, right? So Mystical Male is going to put you in combat if you walk up close to someone or to minions. So they're counterproductive items.
Yeah, and the Midgardian Male significantly more effective against the Kuang than the Mystical would be.
So I'm expecting this to be a Midgardian Male. NQ, once again, they're just two bruisers beating on each other like always.
Yeah, it's purely a slap fight.
I think they've lost the kill. Both have lost the kill potential they had early on.
Yeah, there was just that one opportunity where Hercules could have hit level 5, tossed that boulder, potentially found the kill diving, but not going to be the case for now. NQ, yeah, you can see Variety not even really willing to use his ultimate there. NQ will happily toss a boulder and recall back to base, and this probably will be the teleport now.
Mid-camp's back up again, and Night's Watch not in position. Geb's rotated in, but he actually used his rollout. He could get turned on here very fast.
It's Frostyak who's going to force out the Athena ultimate and his ultimate as well to survive the Kuang, who's getting close to that execute threshold, but it looks like the camps were split left and right.
Yep, once again, though, and that's, you see that miss there? That's actually really important because Shadow Nightmare is their only magical damage. Raw doesn't have secured magical damage. You have Agni. It's very hard to miss bombs. They're very easy to hit. Raw, though, if he has to get close to secure his Celestial Beams, and unless he has the setup from the Athena taunt, he may not be able to get the damage off he needs.
He's gone into the cooldown boots as well on top of that Soul Stone. Those two items not necessarily agreeing so much. Just the Soul Stone into Power Boots, I think I like a little bit better on the side of Agni.
If you're going Soul Stone, you're most likely looking for that magical burst. And
right.
Going the cooldown kind of counteracts that, but he could also just be grabbing Soul Stone so he does more damage because his intention was cooldown boots and he just wants to play safer.
That's right, and as the Raw, I think you hit the nail on the head earlier as well, this idea that he can heal himself, that extra HP, he can perhaps sustain it, not having it from the Vampire Shot better than most people can. He'll itemize into the Lost Artifact as well, so this is going to be a max CDR build from the Raw.
For sure. And it kind of works like Giannis. He has a lot of utility in his kit with his slow on Divine Light, and his ultimate is actually one of the lower cooldown ultimates in the game, and then with max CDR, it's at about 36 seconds.
Yeah, it's
you can use it multiple times in team fights, which is important.
So, okay, they're going to make their attempt on the Wolf of Velos here. The Neith ultimate coming as well to lock him in place, but getting quite low, and yes, to go down as well. It's a little bit of a bloodbath here. Shadow Nightmare traded away for Zindern and Wolf of Velos Street. Zindern, I mean, that's just the base HP of Kuang factoring into things there. I mean, he tried to go in and get something done and just died to the AoE that he didn't see coming. And
that was the lack of damage from Raw. You saw him get his full combo off onto that Geb and really only hit him for about 35% of his life. Meanwhile, Carreño able to walk around that corner. They were all grouped up for that Geb. Cataclysm goes off. There's the stun. Bomb. Picks up 2 kills in return.
Yeah, so player damage is being topped by Soul. There's no surprise there as they smack themselves back and forth. But Bellona is the one curiously at the top of the charts again as Frosty actually making it happen around the map. He'll get a little bit more damage out of this one as him and NQ start to fight, but it's Carreño on the backside they have to be worried about. He is the difference maker, right? As Ra's going for cooldown boots and the Agni is very damage oriented, he's going to have a very huge advantage in terms of what he can get done. Execute being looked at by Zindern. Frostyak now in range. Can he make it?
He's
Zindern,
just out.
Please.
It's just short. It's like 2 more yards.
Zindern, please! No.
Frostyak, nope. Gonna make it out there.
Waddles away. Gold Fury started up and secured on the side of Team Dignitas. Moex, there he is.
Hits it blind.
That's the man that we were looking for. A man with a plan, and he hits that last shot. Rollout is successful. Wolf Velo Street is away. NQ rotating over. He has his rank 2 teleport to towers, and he uses it to get to the mid lane, and he gets the pluck. It was so worth it now. Can he lock down Shadow Nightmare? One more bomb coming through. Celestial Beam is there. The heal as well, giving him the bonus movement speed. And they're going to run away from the Bellona now as Variety Youngbay look to close in on Carreño. But here comes Zindern. Can he get to the back line? No, he got hit by the Celestial Beam as he moves in, revealed, and now they lose their jungle again. Sloppy play there, unfortunately, from Zindern.
Too much chasing by the Night's Watch. They had the secured kill they need, and then they kept going in deep. But everyone's so low. They're spawning too fast, and you saw Team Dignitas able to come back into that fight and make a return kill onto Zindern.
Yeah, they just rallied back there. Too deep indeed. So Dignitas, 3 kills to 2. The gold lead and the experience lead, roughly the same, about 1,100. Nothing too substantial here. As we're 10 minutes into this one, the third set of mid-camps have just come up and down.
Did Dig grab both of those again?
It looks like no. The chart's trying to down some, so I'd say they were split.
Okay, but still, it's still very good control on the mid-camps, and that's leading to that 1,000 gold lead. The extra gold and experience you're getting, it adds up slowly.
Yeah, absolutely it does. And Dignitas has done a decent job of capitalizing off of this. That early gold fury, really the thing that I'm looking at separating the teams. Well, it is the thing separating the teams right now. As the rest of the map's been farmed pretty equally, it's just the presence of mind of the more experienced team. Also, Youngbei off to the 1-0 and 2 start. I mean, Neith getting those assists, similar to a Shibalange with a global presence, early and often.
Yep, that's about 600 gold lead. So a majority of Team Dignitas' gold lead right now is on Neith. So Youngbei, with that extra gold, is going to be able to keep Moex at bay for quite some time. Heartseeker online, but he also has attack speed boots. He's an entire item ahead right now of Moex.
Well, Bellona for Frostiak has been the tempo setter for Team Dignitas so far. You saw just how powerful that ultimate can be. That last engagement, ulting over the wall and forcing Night's Watch to run away, and kind of allows Dignitas to capitalize on that overextension. The solo lane has effectively stalled out, as we were mentioning earlier. It's the Mystical Mail, Runeforged Hammer coming out for the Hercules. But the teleport is available for Hercules, and we saw it factor into that last engagement. They weren't able to kill Shadow Nightmare, but nearly did. Got punished for not picking it up, in fact. But the rank 3 teleport to wards is now there for Hercules. So this next Gold Fury could very well be stuck by the Night's Watch, similar to Saw. Oh, blink.
Counters.
Oh, yeah.
Cataclysm goes off. Frostiak taking a lot of bombs. Is the execute going to be in range, though? No. Zindern blinks down, not able to keep up that fight. Bellona got bursted there, and a great counter blink by Geb.
Amazing,
noticing
yeah.
that.
Smart stuff.
He saw the dash and instantly blinks in to keep the rest of the team at bay.
Yeah, and well, on the topic of Zindern here in this Ao Kuang, a couple of unfortunate circumstances, right? Barely out of range for the execute on the right side lane. Blinked in and got hit instantly by the Celestial Beam, taking him out of invisibility in the last engagement in which he died. He's got a few deaths under his belt now, 2. In fact, looking for a kill here in the mid lane on a Frezzy.
Great body blocks by him.
Yeah, trying to force him into that bomb, but unable to get there. And, well, it's resulted in this first pick Ao Kuang not really getting enough done to warrant the first pick. Even though it's unfortunate circumstances, and I wouldn't say it's necessarily poor play by Zindern, it is still the case that he isn't getting it done, and Bellona is.
I mean, like you said, it's just unfortunate circumstances for him, just slightly out of range. But Ao Kuang, he doesn't do so hot when he's behind, because he is a mage. He needs to be even or ahead to survive long enough to get the enemy into that execute range. If he's getting bursted to half before he can even get his combo off, there's not much effectiveness he's going to have. He's going to have to basically sit out of fights and look to go in the middle. He's not going to be able to make plays happen early on like Bellona is.
And while there are no true kind of dot-based gods on the side of Team Dignitas, they do have the Ra that has that localized damage over time that makes it very hard for Ao Kuang to get it done, but it's a huge stun over the top by Bellona to stop any execute potential coming out on Zindern, who got a lot of damage done in that fight, and now he's going to get walked down, dead again. But here comes NQ, gets the driving strike onto 2. Agni wears the damage coming out. Path of Flames to pull them back, stunning him in place. Boulder as well, but Frezzy still too resilient. Variety rotates in, gets a kill on Moex, but he's dead under tower. It looks like Shadow Nightmare will do what he can.
No,
the body block, but the taunt is there from Athena to keep him away. Driving strike still gets the kill out of NQ. The fight continues. The roots out from Youngbei now. The bludgeon, the knock-up. Do they have enough? Is there an ultimate available from Neith? There is not, and 2 members will survive at very, very low HP for the Night's Watch. But still, with Frostiak on the front line and the Raw heal available, Youngbei able to pick away at this tier 1. Will they get it down in time? Couple more shots to do it. Frostiak getting quite low. Dashing away, but plucked back. Driving strike, Path of Flames. Down will go, but so will Carino in the trade. The tier 1 stands. It's a complete bloodbath. Hard to call the winner in that one.
3 huge things happened in that fight. First off, Zindern, like I said, he took too much damage. He's not ahead or even anymore. He wasn't able to get the execute off. He had to back off, but he's actually going to look for a kill in the back here. Youngbei's in execute range. He's going to knock up the wrong person, though, just trying to get out. So Zindern having to blink out of that fight before Variety was in execute range. First bad thing. Secondly, NQ, so hard to kill. This is that cooldown Raw. It's all their magic damage. Now that he has this, but a great blink in actually by Variety here, trying to stop this Gold Fury.
Fearless Chain buys them some time. Moex takes to the sky, looking to put the damage in on top of Variety. They don't want to take too much damage from the Ra. Neith ultimate's being expended now, and it will go into Moex to keep him out of the fight for the moment, but here comes the rest of Dignitas as the Athena ult comes through, finds a double kill for Variety, as well as that bonus damage from Defender of Olympus helping out, and now Dignitas has pushed Night's Watch. I think maybe a Challenger Cup level play there from the Night's Watch. Thinking they could sneak the Gold Fury, but getting controlled. Athena and Tyr, two of the most dominant CC base gods in the entire game there to disrupt that Gold Fury. Dignitas able to rotate back in and take it away.
Variety blinking in, hitting a 3-man Fearless, pushing them all off Gold Fury, resetting it, giving his team enough time to rotate in there. Like you said, Athena, huge disruptions in that team fight. And just, they're picking off Night's Watch one at a time. It's really these frontline bruisers of InQ and Variety that neither team can seem to lock down, that are just causing mayhem.
And Tyr, well, he really excels at just that. You can't lock him down. His passive is no single CC will hit him for more than 1 second ever. And now at 4-0 and 2, Tyr's gotten quite a bit done out of this solo lane without that teleport to wards. Is maybe the most interesting thing, is it really feels like he's been in the right position more often than Hercules, who does have the active to his benefit. And that's just fully credited to Variety. He
did go this mystical mail, which works against Blink, but at the same time, incredibly strong against Kuang. Kuang's not going to be able to walk up to invisible. He's going to take the tick damage and reveal himself. So
that's two members now, right? The light from Ra is his number 2, as well as the mystical mail from Tyr. That's two, big 40-foot circles in which Kuang cannot get too close, or his invisibility will be revealed.
And this Kuang seems to have been, I wouldn't say counter-picked, but being counterplayed by Team Dignitas right now, as Frostyx looking for more blood here on Zindern. Tonk's gonna miss. Nope, just not gonna use it.
Well, the player base as a whole through the season ticket did select Dignitas to win this one, and it looks like they will take game number 1.
They're looking poised. It's gonna be a rough road for Night's Watch right now.
Yeah, they have the
really need
advantage.
Carreño to come online and InQ to continue his trend of being incredibly tanky. You see him, it looks like he's starting a Magi's Blessing, or potentially a Spirit Robe, which has become more popular in the summer split.
Oh, here we go. They're going to use the Athena ultimate as well underneath the tower, but then thinking better of it, they lag away and then come back.
Yeah, the rest of Night's Watch is rotating into this. Looks like it's going to turn into a 4-on-4. I don't think the Night's Watch wants to engage. They just want Team Dignitas to mess up and look for the counter.
Hercules is walking to lane now, where Tyr is rotating to the fight, so this could be the difference. Right, can Night's Watch hold underneath this tower as Geb's forced to blink away? There's a teleport now from Hercules. But I'm a little surprised he actually went through with that, as he's fighting into several members now of Dignitas. Cataclysm's there, but Bellona and Tyr both come crashing over the top. Bellona quite low, gonna get gobbled up by the dragon. It looks like no, dead to Carreño. The fight continuing on. The Hercules boulder coming out. Variety trying to set a front line and push Zindern away from this one. Neith ultimate cleans him up, but not before 2 members are already dead for Dignitas. It's a 2-for-1 for now. Can they find Wolf of Elo Street? One more hit should do it from Variety. Yes, they can. And now 3 members very low underneath the tower for Night's Watch, and a very, very resilient ADC in Neith here, ready and willing. Here comes Variety, forcing him to the front. Cleaning up is the ability damage from Neith. Healing up now is Variety, and trying to make the time. Will Neith move through the tower to continue to aggress this? No. Youngbei will elect to put the damage onto the tier 2. Now we'll move forward. 3, 4, 5 shots, and then cue the backflip. Not enough. Just barely. Youngbei, one of the only remaining surviving members of his team, Frezzy back at the tier 1 in mid, just clearing up some waves.
Huge bloodbath there. Night's Watch actually invested, I think, too much. I think they would have won that much cleaner. Team Dignitas, that wasn't a clean fight for them. They were very disboggled. I'm not exactly sure the best word for that, but they were all over the place, not cohesive, not on the same targets. But Agni dumped all 3 of his bombs. They also dumped Cataclysm only on Athena. And then they used Boulder only on Athena. And Athena still got out. I think if Night's Watch had picked better priority targets, they would have won that clean. Instead, Team Dignitas, even though they weren't cohesive, they would have found the picks they needed. Most notably Zindern, they're getting just a little out of position. And then right after Wolf of Elo Street, he actually rolls out into the team.
That fight, yeah.
Into the team with no one else to back him up, and he falls as well.
Can we take a look at XP per minute here on the charts? And look at how low the Kuang and Geb are. My goodness. Just
under
so far behind
for your jungler.
That's really rough. I mean, Zindern's been completely shut out of this game. Only level 13 now in a game where the pace is about level 17. Hard stuff. I mean, he's a level behind now the enemy support, similar to what we saw in game 1 of the first set.
This is why it's rough to run these magical junglers like Freya and Kuang. You can just get so far behind, and then you just get abused. You don't have the mobility.
Those Agni Bombs doing quite a bit, but they're going to get blown up by the Bellona leap. Roma Invicta indeed, and now it's Wolf of Elo Street taking yet another spill. Can they find the Kuang as well? If they get Zinder in here, Fearless, he's just waiting for it, but it's the snipe and taunt combination, no problem. Tier 1 tower, gonna get turned on by Variety there is what I was looking for. But this could very well be the Fire Giant now. With the Hunter down, with the Guardian down, no Hog 3 available, nothing to nip at their heels in the Kuang, just Agni Bombs to worry about. As Zig can zone him out, they'll be just fine. But Variety, he looks like he wants to set the front line, and they're gonna let Frostiak do the zoning. He's gonna disarm, he uses the bludgeon, Rom's gonna take this guy, he's gonna try to pick someone here. It's gotta be Frezzy as his target. Yes, indeed it is. One more shot, not gonna get it. Dignitas, Fire Giant complete. And now, dead to Path of Flames, however, is Frostiak. He is the sacrificial lamb.
Yep, great play coming out from Dignitas there. I was a little worried for them. They were taking a lot of poke damage, but Frezzy able to stay alive long enough just in time to hog that Gold Fury. You saw Moex trying to target him out, but not able to do it. Team Dignitas does have to back, however, and it looks like Night's Watch will take a free tower in return and head over to the Gold Fury, but the rest of Team Dignitas is right behind them. This might be a huge misplay.
Yeah, they'll have to kill it really, really quickly.
They recognize it,
they realized it too. But now, Dignitas should just be able to take the Gold Fury. Yes, Night's Watch is forced to back, so yeah, free. And there's the danger of the missed Gold Fury timing, is that they kind of force the full-on retreat lest they get blown up by Variety. Moving forward with the tier, and here Gold Fury continues to swing the game in favor of Dignitas. Those graphs.
Can we take a look at Gold in hand before they back here? Probably sitting about, 1,500 here. So these players are going to be able to finish off active, start active, finish off items. Not really able to buy a full thing, but just enough to make big impacts into these upcoming team fights. They're likely to start pushing up this right lane and just start knocking out these towers one by one.
Looking at Shadow Nightmare being about 400 or 500 gold away from either the Divine Ruin or an Obsidian Shard, as he likes it. And that's really where Ra's going to turn the corner when he's able to pick up his first damage item on top of his utility set.
And just pure utility out of him. As the really primary magic dealer, Athena does high base damage, but it's not a lot coming these late game team fights. It's just not doing enough. Early game, it's fine, but he's going pure utility. No, he's going to grab an Obsidian Shard. So he's going to need that penetration.
Yeah, so he sells off his Soul Stone to get that item, but that now all of a sudden he is a relevant damage dealer.
Yes.
And really the Celestial Beams onto NQ is where you're going to see this play out the most.
And I think most importantly, though, is he's doing a lot of damage because he's so far ahead.
Right, base damage is really factoring in very heavily here. I agree.
Now we see Bellona here just looking to poke him up. They're actually pushing up all 3 lanes at once, so they're going to force Night's Watch to commit to one tower and then secure the tower across the map.
Oh, they got the roll there with the taunt, I believe. Yeah, Moex does not have that roll. He actually pops his bead sprint underneath the tower, but doesn't get anything done with it. Blinking forward is the Kuang, and he's out of this fight for now. Cataclysm used to prevent any further initiation, and Agni Bomb as well.
Just a bunch of
getting fairly low as Bellona. Yeah, as the ultimates get baited out. You're right. And now what do they have left to try to hold this one down? As Dignitas is looking like they are back at Pro League 4. Maybe a little sloppy in that game versus the Poppies. Maybe not practicing very much between the two splits as they did not make it to land. But here they look back and ready to rumble versus the Night's Watch, who, while looking very competent in earlier games, weren't able to put it together in this one. The Kuang Geb combination, they were expecting a lot more out of that.
Yeah, just the Kuang in general. I don't know if it's mostly Geb's fault. He didn't.
No, I don't think it's Geb's fault at all. But I mean,
Zinder just wasn't able to get anything done. He wasn't able to get rolling, and you really need to get rolling on an Kuang. He doesn't scale very well here, and actually Variety gonna blink in, and Variety for Team Dignitas has been one of my highlight players. He made such a big impact early on, and has since just been a huge team fight disruptor.
Well, I put the question mark over his head at the beginning of the game. Like, he is, conventionally considered the weaker player on this roster, but here Variety has been anything but. In fact, he's been the primary factor in this victory on the tier. An absolute monster performance by him. As we see the initiation come out, and once again, the old duo of death, Zinder and Wolf of Elo Street, take a spill yet again. They just can't seem to get it going in this game. Final shot on the Frostiak, no, dashing away from it, and the raw heal. That Lotus Crown keeping him surviving through that second shot as well. Neith just channeling her ultimate, begging someone to come defend.
We haven't seen the powerful sieges like this in a while when Ra was more prominently picked. How are you gonna... You can't, right? You have to find a kill. If you're only finding damage, you're not going to be able to finish them off. Look at these heals coming out. Max CDR, he's going to keep his team alive, and there's no stopping the siege. You have to find a kill, or else you're wasting everything you're committing to.
Well, if Dignitas is able to repeat this kind of performance, game 2 likely to go their way as well, as this one was very clean for them. Not a lot of mistakes to really go back and say that, you know, this is an opportunity where Night's Watch did not capitalize on something Dignitas did.
I'd say the only time they messed up, really, Team Dignitas gave them one window on that tier 1 tower dive, but they committed too much into Athena, didn't get anything off of it. Then their team was completely split, and even though Team Dignitas wasn't in a prime spot, they were able to find the picks they needed and turn it into an even trade when it should have been a losing trade.
That's right, yeah, it should have been. And it was Frezzy skirting out of there somehow and able to recall after clearing out some of the waves in the mid. Fire Giant going to be back up in, well, now. And look where Team Dignitas is. What a surprise.
Perfect timing. Bay was ready to attack that before it even spawned there, so great knowledge of timers there. And we're going to see Hercules. NQ has Hog 3. Does he not know what's going on?
Look at his positioning. He wants to boulder over the top. No, he wants to come all the way around the back. Fire Giant in execute range right now. Can he get it? Yes, he can! NQ, what a player, but they're going to get abused for it. They'll lose these 2 members. He throws the boulder for good measure, but they do see their Fire Giant away, but will it be enough to stop the onward assault of Team Dignitas? Lotus Crown there. Max CDR Ra as well, just waiting to push into the base. 2 Phoenixes down.
That steal was completely calculated. You saw all of Team Dignitas, that is, get completely distracted by Geb. Meanwhile, NQ able to sneak around the corner. They had no idea who was there, but they lost the 2. Can the remaining 3 hold off Team Dignitas until the rest of their team can spawn
up? All 5 standing strong here, and they got to find a way to stop Youngbei from throwing in these shots into the Phoenix, and they will not. 3rd Phoenix to fall here. Nothing cooking. Lotus Crown continuing to heal Frezzy up. He takes maybe more shots than he would be comfortable with, but they're happy to sacrifice the Athena in this situation. 1 more pick will end this game. It's a very, very tense situation for the Night's Watch. They have a lot of time to make up until the Phoenixes come back online. Here comes the Fire Minions as the Fire Nation streams down all lanes. Left side going to be pushing in just a moment as well. They're chipping away.
They're just trying to keep all 3 lanes pushed up. They want the Knights. They're waiting for Night's Watch to make a mistake. That's their goal. They're like, yeah, I need 1 player to get out of position so we can full commit to this. And Night's Watch, they're going to have to be fighting off these Fire Minions. And
it's going to be
tough once all 3 waves are coming up. And he's going to go on Carino there. Shield comes out. Carino's going to be able to, or excuse me, Kuang's going to be able to blink out here. Mox takes to the air. Able to find the snipe completely blind. But it looks like Nox is committing.
Titan starting to take the damage down to about 68%, but Zinder finds a kill as well. Night's Watch may be able to hold this one. Bellona bludgeoning. Can they kill the Hunter? They will indeed. That's a lot of the damage gone as Mox takes the spill. Agni the next target here, but with 2 members down on the side of Team Dignitas, they're going to be held at bay by the Night's Watch. And that one is Mox through and through, sniping out Youngbei, not giving him the opportunity to heal back up. And maybe that comes down to Frezzy.
NQ's teleporting in. He's looking for a pick in the backline. They're not going to have enough damage to kill him unless Shadow Nightmare can find something here. Scourged out. Can't auto-attack anymore. Zindern rolls in as well, but Variety's going to keep him at bay.
They're good for now.
That's just going to delay their secondary push, I would imagine.
To me, the thing that happened in this fight was that Frezzy actually misplays this one, and he fires his ultimate onto Bellona instead of onto Neith. So Neith gets hit by the Earthshaker Driving Strike combination of Hercules and is forced to Beads backflip at about 25% HP, and the Athena ultimate does not come out for Youngbei. Maybe it was again another misclick and went on to Frosty again.
It's very, when there's that many players stacked up, it's very hard to aim on who you want.
That's right, yeah, and I'm guessing that one comes down to more the misclick than it does to him willfully going on to Frostiak there. But it may not have been enough to save him from Mox anyway. But Youngbei maybe not panicking as much either and able to get a better juke out with that damage mitigation.
So we have 2 Phoenixes spawned, but not the 3rd, so that Titan's not going to be healing up, sitting at about 50% life.
Yeah, as Dignitas is looking here for their final siege, as you mentioned, this one could do it. The Titan is sitting at about, what, 65% HP? It looks like not healing back up just yet. Dignitas just waiting to break the base now.
They may just be able to full commit onto this. I mean,
I think they can. Red pot on Youngbei certainly indicates that that's what they're looking for, unless he gets picked off by Zindern here. No. Blink, Fearless, Root, Shot, Crit. Blink forward, not enough. Down you go. Kuang is off the map again. The 3rd Phoenix falls now. The snipe comes through from Shadow Nightmare. It does a number onto Geb. Hits 4, it looks like, with that snipe, and now the Titan will fall. Dignitas takes game number 1 versus the Night's Watch.
They looked very clean, and Zindern on that Kuang not able to get anything going. That seems to be a trend that we're seeing in this Season 2 is if your jungler can't get going, it's very hard for your team to recover as a whole.
If anybody can't get... I mean, really, that's what we continue to see, right? Is that it's either the jungler or it's the mid laner And if one of them falls behind, the game just falls apart right there. I mean, it kind of used to be that we'd only see these kind of really big game swings when a support would fall a level or two behind and just get continually picked, and have no impact on the game. That's not what we're seeing out of damage cores, and that makes it even harder to come back.
Yes. We have really amazing soul laners like Cyclone Spin, amazing hunters like Reels, but if they can't make it to that spot in the mid game or late game where they can make an impact,
they can't make it
for your team.
Yeah. First Blood is available from this last one. Dignitas takes down Night's Watch in the first game, but First Blood, as you recall, did go to the side of the Night's Watch, just barely though.
But I think Team Dignitas really got the better of that fight. They lose First Blood, so they lose the 500 gold, but they get 2 picks and as well continue the mid-Harpy dominance, and that led to about a 1k gold lead coming in about 6 minutes.
Yeah, like right away they had that about 1,000 gold lead, and that just continued to grow. Night's Watch never really had an opportunity to get back into that one, and well, again, it kind of comes down to a couple of things. 88% mid-camp control is really inexcusable. That's pretty crazy.
They were just out of position for at least the first 9 minutes. After that, I didn't really take too note of it, but no one was in position. The support wasn't able to rotate, more notably. And then Carreño and Kuang there, Zindern, were just sitting in the mid lane. They were too scared to really try and play against it. And that's the thing. Kuang doesn't really have a good mid-Harpy fight.
He doesn't, and really at the end of the day, it was that they first picked Kuang and he didn't get anything done. I mean, anytime that you first pick a character and he just gets abused or goes 0-6 like that, it's not going to work out for you. It's just tough. I mean, and the snowball almost happened, right? He barely missed 2 kills. The first one, he barely missed in the right side lane, and the second kill, he got hit by a celestial beam that was already in the air when he blinked to prevent him from getting in there invisible, and does go down.
Yep, but player of the game, Variety.
Yeah, absolutely. No question in that one. An excellent game from him.
And I didn't like the Mystical Mail and Blink combination he got at first because it counters it. It puts you in combat. Blink, you're not able to use it while in combat. However, it completely countered out the Kuang, who typically is strong against bruisers. Now, anytime Zindern tried to walk up to him, he got revealed from stealth. Or if he tried to escape, as long as Variety could get close to him, he would pop him out of stealth and be able to find the kill.
Yeah, we saw that factor in the very last fight where Kuang was on the right side lane trying to kill Youngbei, and they saw him for a second, and then he went invisible, and Tyr simply just had to blink over to that side of the map, and instantly he was revealed and put into a fearless chain.
And really, the huge rotation he had when Night's Watch, they were trying to sneak the Gold Fury there at the middle, in the middle of the game, and he was able to blink in.
The 3-man fearless.
Yeah, 3-man fearless, and really disrupt that team fight, and just did so much work in team fights all across the game.
Yeah, he was definitely the player of this one. And so often these characters that are getting the player of the game, if it's not coming out of the hunter role, it's because how well they're able to set the pace for their team and kind of force the enemy to play into their strategy, and Variety through and through accomplished that for Team Dignitas.
Yep.
So congratulations to them in taking the first game out of this 2-game set.